Welcome back, South Africa, and we're still keeping with our Heritage Day themed. So these Clover Classic Custard Malva cups are a unique take on our classic South African dessert. They're decadent and oh so Moorish. These bite-sized cups will be your new favorite way to enjoy Malva pudding. Now, friend, we couldn't celebrate heritage without celebrating another fave, which is Malva pudding.
Never.
Ever.
Malva. That's all I have to say for this
I love
recipe
that.
to me. So should we get started?
Please,
Let's
show
get
us the
straight
way.
into it, because how many ways can you make a Malva pudding? There's too many to count.
Too many
this
to
is
count.
one of our versions. So we've
Sure.
gone into the bowl with our dry ingredients, some salt, not salt, some sugar and some flour, okay? And then into another jug, I'm gonna put my eggs, I'm gonna put some milk, I'm gonna put some apricot jam, child, because you know, no Malva is complete without a little bit of jam. So I'm gonna go in with my apricot jam, some vanilla, and then a little bit of vinegar, just to take the edge off of that sweetness, and then we're going to mix that and pour it into our dry ingredients.
Perfect stuff. And obviously any Malva that gets done is synonymous with that sauce that goes on top of it, you know, because it is in essence a self-saucing dessert, and that's why you've got that Malva sauce in there. But we like to add a bit of decadence to it, and we're going to be serving ours with our Clover Classic Custard, because for me, as it is a dessert. It doesn't need anything more. But should you want to amp up your desserts, definitely add a spoonful of that Clover Classic Custard if you want to. But going back to the actual Malva itself, like we mentioned, it does have that sauce that gets put on immediately after, right? Is it
Yes,
immediately?
straight after. As when the pudding is hot, pour over your sauce.
And the reason for doing it then, friend, is it because you want it to absorb immediately, or is there science to it?
The quicker you do it, the sooner you can eat it. That's what I say. But yeah, the heat from the pudding will allow that sauce to soak in. If you let it stand for a little bit, as it gets cold, the butter will start getting hard again, and then you'd have to put it back into the oven for it to melt down.
Yeah.
So as soon as the pudding is hot to me, pour that syrup over.
Okay, and this syrup is made up of a couple of different things. So we've got some milk that went into there, we've got some sugar, we melted a bit of butter, which is what you were talking about, and just added a touch of that orangey zest in there just to give it, give it some life and give it some additional flavor. And as you can see, my friend, we touched on it. We said we're making Malva and apple.
Yeah, well.
You've actually got it in your hand. I'll hand it over to you.
I mean,
they look so cute.
This just reminds me of my childhood. I mean, how cute is that? So we're going to put these into our muffin pan. So these are, store-bought apples, Tooms. You can get them off the shelves, but you can really use fresh apples if you need to. But what makes these special is, as you slice into them, it sort of looks like a little heart.
It does, right?
We're showing our love and appreciation for our beautiful country. And the trick, to me, put your apples in first, and then you know exactly how much batter to put up. So remember, with cupcakes, with muffins, you're looking at about 2/3 of a cup. Okay, so I've got a cup over here, so I'm going to put that around the apple. And so if you were to put the apples in after, it might raise the level of the amount of batter. So we're going to put that, thank you, Toom. So you want them nice and in the center, so I think I'm going to put a bit more. And then you can keep filling them up to about that point. You can drop the apple in.
There we go.
And then into the oven at 180 degrees
I know, right?
for about half an hour. And
that looks like an arts and craft experience over there. But like we mentioned, my friend, it is self-sourcing, but we always like to add a bit of decadence to it. And that's why we're adding our Clover Classic Custard to it. And all we got to do, South Africa, is literally just pour it and enjoy. Right?
Enjoy.
And enjoy. And if you want to get your hands on this recipe as well, you know exactly where to go. Head over to afternoonexpress.co.za while we enjoy.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic!
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.